Hey guys, this is Rosa Kelly. So today I'm here with a bonus tutorial for you. I'm going to show you how to make this really fun fabric folio. So let's get right to it. So hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so happy to be here with a bonus tutorial for all my members. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support more than you know. And today I wanted to do a tutorial on how I put this super fun folio together. This is one of the projects that I did for my digital magazine. And if you are subscribed to the magazine or if you have seen the magazine, you will see all measurements for this. But for this tutorial, I'm gonna do it from scratch and I'm gonna basically make the layouts completely, well, not completely different, but it's gonna be unique because I always like to make my books different. I just don't like repeating too much, and it's gonna be super fun. So you can have two different versions of this book. And so yeah, so now let's get right to it. Let me walk you through what you are going to need. Now, as you can see, this is a soft folio, because I am using a cereal box to create this book. Now, if you don't like the soft folio feel to it, if you prefer the hardcover, you can also create the same project using the chipboard and do chipboard covers instead. So what I did is use a cereal box, and I actually cut this already because I was just gonna work on a few different versions of this book, but I figured we'll do one together here. But all I did is open the box. And I don't have another box because I went ahead and cut the 3 boxes that I only had. But so you start with a cereal box or a cracker box, or any like oatmeal, whatever it is that you have on hand. And again, you don't even have to follow the measurements. You can kind of create your own. But what I did is just open the side that comes kind of like, there's a side that comes glue. So I opened that up, and then I measure from the spine to the edge 8 inches. So I'm just gonna double check that. 7.5. So I did 7.5 from the spine to one side, and then I turn this around, and then I put 7.5 from the other side of the spine to the other edge. And then for the length, I believe I did 8.5. Yes, so then you will do 8.5, and then from the spine here 7.5, and from the spine here 7.5. Okay, so that is gonna be the measurement. Now, if you want this to be hardcover, all you're gonna do is cut your chipboard, and you can go ahead and glue it on top here of your cereal box. So you're gonna cut 7.5 by 8.5, glue it on top, do it again here, do it on top, and then you're gonna cut a piece for the spine. The spine of this cereal box is exactly 2 inches. This is why I love working with this cereal, well, because I love this cereal, but also because I like the smaller spine. I don't like the super huge ones. So if you're adding chipboard, make sure the chipboard does not go over the spine. So that is one way to do it. The other way to do it is to just simply cut your chipboard pieces 8.5 by 7.5, 8.5 by 2, 8.5 by 7.5, and do a binding as if we were doing a mini album, and that way you have that hardcover folio base, right? So just as a little tip, if you don't like the soft cover, but I actually do love the soft cover, especially because this book is gonna grow. It's just gonna be so much fun adding more things to it. I'll probably decorate one of these on camera as well. But we're gonna now move to the next step, which is going to be choosing your fabric. So I went to the fabric store yesterday and I fell in love with all these fabrics, and this is why I kind of want to do a couple more of these, right? So I love these like pumpkins. I love this is more of like a gothic, it's not so much Halloween if you don't like Halloween, but I just really like the gothic feel and the pink butterflies. And this could also be a very romantic any day, anytime journal as well. And then I also like this one. I love the colors. It's kind of fall oriented. It has a little bit of like the rose gold leaves. It's really pretty, but it's not so much, I don't know if it's saying Thanksgiving or anything like that, but it definitely calls out for fall a little bit. I just love the colors, the leaves, and I don't know if you can see, but yes, really shiny here with the rose gold on the leaves. So I thought this was so pretty. So I'll definitely be making a few of these. And then how pretty would this be to kind of turn it into like a folio slash journal and document all your like Thanksgiving memories, do a Thanksgiving November type of project, and or gratitude, right? Gratitude type of book. And so yeah, so I'm gonna do it using this fabric here. Okay, so when I go to the fabric store, I ask for a third. I guess they measure it this way, right? I just ask for a third of a yard, because a yard is just, unless you are planning on doing multiple of the same, I just get a third because that is usually all I need, and you still have some leftover to kind of wrap around it. You can get a bigger size too, or I wouldn't go smaller than a third because then we're gonna confuse the people. But yeah, so, and then they always come on kind of like, it's like a longer piece, right? So you can actually make two out of one of these cuts here. And so now I'm just going to cut this in two. So we're gonna be using 1/2. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut that here. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, depending on your fabric, you may or may not need this next step, because what I like to do is to cover the box so you don't see the design. Well, actually, normally I do it like this, right? I fold it in so I don't see that design of the box. So now you don't really need to cover it, right? But I also like to add kind of like the white cardstock. It's just gonna make your fabric really stand out. So if you see the difference there, it's kind of like adding a layer of lighting under compared to not having it. So you see the difference there. So I always like to add cardstock all around before I put fabric. Even if you, well, if you wrap your chipboard on white cardstock, then you don't need to do that. But definitely for that. Now if you're working with like a darker type of fabric, you don't really need to do that. You can skip that step. Okay, so now let's get to this. So I'm going to cut my my cardstock here, and I'm using heavyweight cardstock or lightweight. I think this was heavyweight. So this is going to be 8.5 by 7.5. Okay, so I'm just cutting these to size. Always make sure you're not gluing anything on top of this bending line. And then I'm just going to add my glue. Let me see if I can get the glue. Also, then you are going to need regular glue for that, and you are going to need fabric glue for the next step. Okay, so I'm just gonna glue this down. Okay, so we're gonna put one here. And just line that up. And then I'm going to do another piece here at 7.5. Okay, by 8.5. And again, just cover And so we're gonna put that right there. Okay, now for the spine, again, this measures 2 inches, but I'm going to go 1/8 of an inch smaller than 2, so I'm not gluing anything on top of that bending line. So you want that spacing in between. Okay, so then I'm just gonna glue this down here, and then I'm also going to do the same for the inside. Okay, just for the spine. Okay, because this is gonna get covered with cardstock, but the spine needs to kind of have that, cover that cereal box color here a little bit. Okay, so we're just gonna cover that. Okay, so now that we have prepped our cereal box, we can go ahead and start wrapping these onto the fabric, and this will be the same step if you are using chipboard or not. Okay, so let's bring this. Normally I would probably, I don't know what happened here with this fabric, that is kind of wrinkled. Maybe I can use the other side. Yes, okay. And then we're just gonna put this down like this. Okay, so here we go. So when I add these, I don't like to add a lot of glue because some fabric will not take the glue. It might stain, it might just make a smudge. So what I like to do is add my glue on the inside of the book. So mainly I'm just gonna place this here, and I'm going to add a little bit of glue on the outside, but just on the spine. Okay, just so it's not moving when you are opening and closing. So very, very, very little amount. Okay, and then you're gonna put that right there. Okay, now you're going to just go for it. You want to add all the glue on the inside here, okay, because this fabric is going to get covered, so even if it does leave a smudge or whatnot, that's okay. We don't need to worry about that. Okay, so I'm just going to fold this here. Okay, and then again just fold that. Then we're gonna do the other side. Okay, so I'm just gonna add my glue and just cover this up. And then for the sides, you're just gonna fold this. I like to fold it instead of cutting it, because if we cut it, the fabric might start fraying, and then you're gonna uncover your cereal box, so we don't want that. So first I'm gonna glue that together here, and I like to glue every step. So I'm gonna fold it and glue it. Okay, fold and glue. And then same thing here, I'm gonna fold and glue. Okay, so that way each layer, every time we fold it, it's going to stay really flat. Okay, and now I'm going to add the glue here, and especially on the corner. Okay, and now we're just gonna fold this back. Okay, so just press and down. Okay, and then we're gonna do the same on this side here. So I'm gonna glue and fold. Okay, so adding glue, then we're going to add glue here again and fold. Okay, so press down, add glue, fold. Okay, and then we're gonna add glue and add glue all around. Okay, so there we go. And then when you do this, you do want to pull as tight as you can. Okay, so there we go. And then I'm just gonna finish gluing this flap down here. Okay, I just want everything to be really flat. Because otherwise then when you glue your cardstock, you're gonna have some little bumps. So you don't want that. Okay, so just glue it down. Glue this a little bit more there. Okay, and so I'm just gonna remove all of these little pieces, clean it up a little bit. Okay, and let's see. Okay, now let's look at the outside. Look at that. How cute is this? I just love it already. The way it is. Super simple and just so cute. Now, on this book here, I'm going to show you, and this is going to be an optional step, but you see that I have some stitching going around. Now, if you don't use a sewing machine, that's okay, because this is not going to come apart. Okay, you're just gonna let your glue dry, your fabric and glue. You're gonna let that dry, and you don't need to stitch. I mainly stitch because I love how that looks. So I will be adding some stitching around this book here. And so what I do normally, if you have a sewing machine, you probably know more than me about this, because all I do is just start on one corner, and for example, if this is your front and this is your back, I always start on the back. Okay, because I'm always afraid of messing up, and also because I like my connection. Where did I start? Here. I mean, this looks pretty even, but you can see how here is where I cut the ends of the thread. You can really see it tiny bit. So I always start on the back, and then I just feed it this way, and then I turn it around, feed it this way, turn it around, feed it this way, and then feed it this way, and I end up on the same place that I started. So if you want a more detailed tutorial on that, I can do that, but I'm just gonna move to my sewing table, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here is the stitching that I just did all around, and I just really love how that looks. It just kind of gives it like a little frame, and I love it. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is going to be covering the inside of the spine. Now, I forgot that I normally do this before I stitch around. That way I can kind of just have that look here, but it's fine. We're just gonna go ahead and cover this up. So I'm going to cut just a small piece of fabric. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut this here, and we're just gonna go ahead and glue this down. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this like that. Okay, and then we're just gonna glue this down with our fabric glue. So normally what I do before I glue this is I just put it on the inside. I mean, it depends, because sometimes you don't want to see this line, but I feel like it's more secure when you put it under that layer here. But we're just gonna go ahead and glue this piece down. So you want to add some glue on these bending lines. Okay, right here, here. And there we go. And then we're just gonna put that right there. Okay, just to cover that section. And then we're going to start adding our layouts. So I'm going to be using craft color cardstock, and I'm going to cut 2 pieces at 7 1/4 by 8 1/4, and we are going to glue these 2 on the inside here. And you want to use your fabric glue for this piece. Okay, so all around, and I'm just gonna add it everywhere here. Okay, and then we're just gonna put this down. Okay, just like that. Press down, and then you want to do the other side here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and glue this a little bit more. Okay, and then you want to add this piece. And we're gonna put this right here. Okay, so that is going to be the cover basically for this book. How cute, I love it. And then next we're gonna be working on the layout. So let's take a look at the layouts on this book here. So we have a 1/2 inch spine for both sides, and then here we have this page that opens. This one opens and opens. Then here we have like kind of like a booklet. They're all the same size. Here there's 4, and then this also opens, and then this back opens like that. This opens to the top, and then we have a pocket. So that is this side. On the other side we have a larger layout. This opens and opens, and then here at the center this opens up, opens to the side, and then this opens to the side again. So again, we're gonna be playing with these and kind of coming up with something similar but a little bit different and unique as well. And so I'm going to use my craft color cardstock, and I'm going to be starting with that section that has the, the piece that has the 1/2 inch gusset like this one does. That one we definitely want to do the same. And so I'm going to cut this at 8 1/4, and let's do this by 7. And I'm going to score. Okay, so let's bring these tools here. So we're gonna score, and we are going to fold. So along the 7 inches, score at 1/2 inch and at 1. Okay, and then we are just going to fold along the score lines, and let's put these 1/2 inch down here on the side. So I'm going to add my glue. I'm just gonna use this one here. So add some glue on this 1/2 inch section, and then we're just going to line this up to the side right there. Okay, and we are going to press down. So now we are creating the volume that we need to start working on this page here. Now I'm going to just kind of cut a few pieces and then score them all together. Okay, so we're going to do here this piece at 8 1/4. Okay, and this is going to be just by 11, and going to score here along the 11 inches at 5 and score at 10. Okay, so 5 and 10, and then I'm going to fold and fold here, and then I'm going to put this on the side. And for the next piece, I am going to cut a piece here at 8, okay, by 7.5, and we're going to score these at 1/2 inch along the 8 inches. Okay, so along the 8 inches, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. And then we're just gonna fold that, put it on the side, okay, and then we're gonna put them together. Next, I'm going to do 2 pieces, and these are going to be 7.5 by 5.5. Okay, 7.5 by 5.5. And we're going to score these 2 pieces along the 5.5 at 1/2 inch and at 1/2 inch. Okay, and then fold along the score lines, and let's put those to the side as well. And then I'm going to do 1 piece at 8.25, and then I'm going to do this by let's do this by 7.5. Okay, so 8.25 by 7.5, and I'm going to also score at 1/2 inch. Okay, and then we're just going to fold along the score line. And now I have all these pieces here, and we're gonna start adding this to our book. So let's bring this back, and I'm going to start with the last piece that we just cut, which is the 7.5 by 8.25. This one I'm going to put right on top. Okay, so we're gonna open this up and put this piece here, and I'm actually going to put it on the other side just to kind of switch it up a bit. Okay, and I'm going to add my glue here, and then just add this to the edge. Okay, and then press down. Okay, so that is gonna go there. Now the piece that is this accordion fold, I'm going to put on top of this one here. So we're gonna put that right there. Okay, so add the glue. I know this is a 1 inch, so that's okay. Okay, so we're gonna put the glue on the 1 inch and add that to this edge here. Okay, so line this up, and I think it's just super fun to kind of just come up with something, you know, just like continue adding and gluing and, you know, just creating different layouts. So here now we have a really long expandable section. So now we are going to open this up, and here at the center I am going to put this piece here. Actually, I think I cut this too big. Let's see. So this was 7.5. I'm going to cut it at 7 instead. Okay, because I want to be able to put that right here at the center. Okay, so along the top. Okay, so we're gonna put that back there. Okay, in between these 2 pieces. And now let's press down. Okay, so this is going to open up, And then we're gonna have this one coming from this side. This is an accordion, expandable folds. And then on this back section here, from the first piece that we added, I am going to add these two pieces. These are the 5.5 by 7. So I'm just going to add one on each side here. Okay, so I'm gonna put it at the center. Okay, so press down. Okay, and then open that up. Let me press down here. And then we're going to add this other one. Okay, on the other side. And I'm gonna line these two. So I'm just gonna actually close it so I can see. And there we go. And so you don't want to put it over your bending line. Okay, so you want to go to the side a little bit. And here we go. Now let's open that up. Press down. And we're gonna close and close. So there we go. So now we have this section. So this page is going to open up. This is going to open and open. Now over here, this is going to open up like that, open up like this. This whole thing can open like that. And then we have these opening flap. Okay, so now let's close that. And one thing that I did on the other folio was to add a pocket. So we can probably do that here as well. So I think this should work. So you want a piece at 8 inches. So I'm using my scraps. And so this is 8 by 3.5. And then we are going to score along the 8 inches. You are going to score at half, at 7.5. And along the 3.5, we're going to score at 1/2 inch. Okay, to make the pockets. And then you just want to cut the corners here and fold along the score lines. And let's add these pockets on the back. So I'm gonna open all of that, open this flap, and then the pocket is gonna go right here. Okay, so let's add the glue. Add the glue and add the glue. Okay, so then we're just gonna put these right here, press down. Okay, press down, just cleaning the glue. And there we go. So now we also have a pocket on this page. I'm gonna close all of these, and now we're gonna work on the other side of the book. So again, I want to start with that 1/2 inch gusset that is going to give this whole thing dimension. So I'm going to cut this piece at, let me do 8 by 8.25. Here we go. Okay, and then let me do another one that is going to be 5.5 by 8.25. Okay, and I'm going to score on these two pieces at 1/2 inch and at 1. Okay, so along the 5.5, we're going to score at 1/2 and 1, and along the 8 inches, we're going to score at 1/2 and 1. and then we're going to fold and fold. Okay, and then we are going to bring this back. I'm going to put the large panel on the right side of my book. So just gonna add some glue here and oops, line this up right there, press down. Okay, and then I'm going to open this up and add the other one on the other side. Okay, so that is going to go here. And then we're going to press down here and open this up, press here. And then now we're gonna stand up the gusset and stand up the gusset here. So this is going to close like that, and then we have half an inch gusset, and that's gonna open like that. So now we're gonna add a few more layouts on that side. Okay, so I'm going to now, so you can see how fun this is. I mean, you can even create your own layouts kind of following that same technique. You can make this one and then maybe try a second one all on your own. So I'm going to cut one piece. This is going to be 7 by 8, and then I'm going to do another one that's going to be 7 by 7. Okay, so 7 by 8 and 7 by 7, and I'm going to score along the 8 inches at half an inch, and along one of the 7-inch sides at half an inch. And then we're going to fold this large piece first, and then this smaller one I'm going to fold, and I'm going to glue this one on top of this one here. Okay, so along the bottom you're going to add some glue and just line these up and press down. And then I'm going to bring my book open and open and open, and I'm going to put this along the top here, center. Okay, so that right there along the top. Okay, so just center that, press down, open it up and press down. Okay, now this is going to open down and open up, so the whole thing will open up. Okay, so now let's add a couple more things to that other side. So for the other side, maybe I can do a couple of 5.5 by 8.25. Okay, so I'm gonna do 4 of those pieces here. Okay, so 8.25 by 5.5. Okay, and 5.5. And then we are going to score at half an inch, okay, along the 5.5. So half an inch, half an inch, let's see here, half an fold and fold. And what I'm going to do is put two together. Okay, so on the same side where the score line is, I'm just going to put one on top of the other. So we're gonna do these two together here. Okay, so let's press, and then we're going to do these other two together. Okay, and then just press down. And I don't know why one of these is bigger than the other, so I'm just gonna, okay. And then we are going to bring this back, open this up, open that up, and on this right panel we are going to put these double layouts. Okay, so one on each side. I think that's what I always do, one on each side. Okay, so we're gonna put this here. Okay, there we go. This down, and then the other one. I don't know why it's not super even, so I'm just gonna, there we go. Okay, and then we're going to add these right there. So always make sure that you are not gluing on top of your bending line. Okay, so now I'm gonna open that up, press down, open this up, and press down. Okay, and then so when you close this page, you're gonna close this one side at a time. So you're gonna close one and one, and let me press down here too, and then one and one. Okay, so here you are going to have on the center the piece that opens down and up, and on the side the piece that opens side to side and side to side, and then you have your large panel there. So that's gonna close, and then this is going to close here on top, and then this is going to close everything. And there you go. I hope that you guys enjoy this tutorial on making this fabric folio out of a cereal box. Even though I did not use chipboard, this is still pretty sturdy, but it is like a cute squishy cover, and you have so much room to grow in here. And if you like journaling, you can maybe even do a journal and just kind of add it on this center here, which is probably something that I will want to do with this. And so thank you so much again for being a member of my channel. If you are part of my online classroom, we will be having a live class this Saturday, so I will do a separate announcement on that as well and share the link. Thank you so much for all your support to my channel, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.